Welcome to this week's Founder Spotlight. And joining us today is Dominic Bristow, founder and CEO of Stylus Education. Welcome, Dominic. I believe this is the first time we actually met on Zoom. We heard that you announced recently that you've just brought on 50 new schools in January alone, only a year since your first customer. So, what does this milestone mean for Stylus in practical terms? And what have you learned from schools so far?
Hi, good morning, Celia. Yeah, no, it was a really, really amazing thing to be able to announce, actually. So it was almost exactly a year ago that we got our first school. Over the last year, we've been taking it purposefully slowly at Stylus. And then at the back end of last year, we realized we were probably ready to push a bit harder. And so we did some really purposeful go-to-market activity and we headline sponsored a very prominent, well-regarded conference of multi-academy trust leaders. I did the keynote that morning, and coming off stage after my 25 minutes of discussion, first thing on the first day, 41, I think it was, academy trusts had expressed interest via our online form during my presentation about using our service. Such was the strength and the cut through of our message, I think. And we've now, yeah, so 15 of those groups are now doing, that have now onboarded with us through pilots that will run through to the summer. And as part of that, they all kind of average about ten schools each, these groups. And yeah, so January was a great month for us. But February's about to beat it already.
That sounds super impressive. But for someone who's never heard of Stellus, how would you explain in a few sentences what Stellus does for schools?
It's certainly true in the UK. It's true in English schools. I think it's also true globally that teachers spend hundreds of hours marking writing. It's easily the most time-consuming part of their job, and it's also very difficult to get accurate. There's a lot of subjectivity in there. It's inherently subjective, and one of the things that makes problematic is both the level, the usefulness of the underlying data when teachers write about how well students are doing their writing, and the consistency of it, and so how believable it is for leadership and so on is poor. Now, what we're doing is using AI to approach that problem, and we're doing all of the marking for teachers rather than just being a bolt-on, a tool to use. We do all the marking end to end. It's a marking service. But importantly, we're doing it better than them. So it's not just a grade that we produce. Essentially, we assess everything there is to assess about a student writing. And we assess, the AI reads the handwriting, which we've done a lot of work on, because handwriting of students is not great. And, once we've got that transcript, we assess every sentence in the writing on over 100 different criteria, which means that when we do ask for a grade, it's transparent because, depending on how you want to frame this, everything about the writing. When you do want to produce feedback, you can do it rather than just having a model imitate, as I say at the top. We can prioritize really what the problem is across all of their writing. Now it is outperforming the average teacher, like demonstrably, which is why we're in the second year of working with the Department for Education now through a contract for innovation. They see the difference in what we're doing, and it's very clear to us that we've produced something unprecedented.
2026 sounds like a year of acceleration for sellers. So, how is this the growth translating to revenue? And what's the next big focus for sellers? Is it product development, moving into new school segments, or a major project that you are building towards?
So, from a revenue point of view, I mean, it's always a lagging indicator to a degree. We've not yet breached 100,000 ARR. But we're sort of aiming for about £250,000 by the end of the academic year. We'll then have a lot of proof in what we're doing in a short space of time that we'll have jumped up to that sort of level of recurring revenue in only 6 months, essentially. And that'll be real validation to do a proper seed round and then consider other territories, but certainly pushing hard into the UK. I mean, the AI marking is sort of a vacuum market. All schools now know that they need a partner, and none of them have one.
Fantastic. So where do you see Stellas going over the next few years?
I mean, for me, one of the big things that I think is really exciting is that we're going to be able to follow students through their progress in school. Traditionally, the work that's done at primary has been somewhat siloed from what happens at secondary. So we see that as a huge waste, and actually, the so-called lifelong learning passport that we've started building now, we see as a way to have students move along with a diagnosis that helps teachers improve them, so that we will then be able to speed up even further the ability of schools to improve students, because we'll have this vast amount of data on how students improve over a number of years. One of the few moats left in a world of AI generated software. We're going to have to be able to track the progress of students in a sentence level across all of their writing across the whole of school.
Well, thanks so much for your time today, Dominic, and wishing you and Stellas all the best in 2026.
Thank you very much from the whole Stylus team.